Hey crafty friends, it's Christina. Welcome back to the channel. Over the next couple of series of videos, I am going to be doing a little bit of a craft room organization in particular areas. And the first one is going to be my stencil storage. Over the past few years, I've been using a binder to store my stencils, and I have to do some work with this because I have a bunch of stencils in the back that just have not been added to this binder. And when I set this up, I really didn't quite think it all the way through. I started with just this 6x8 binder. This is by Simple Stories. I've had it for a couple of years, and I love this system. What I'm not liking is I like to store things by company. I generally know what I have in each company, and a lot of my stencils are more with my coordinating stamps and dies. But I just didn't think this through when I was putting this together because I was doing front and back for these, and then when I get to a certain point, I'm gonna have to kind of shuffle things around, and I don't know. I still want to organize by company, but I think I just need to update the system. I also looked, and I can't get this binder anymore. I ordered it from, I think it probably was Amazon or something like that, but it's by Simple Stories. I went to order some more pockets because I only had a few left in the back to add more, which wasn't going to be enough to cover all the ones that are not in the sleeves yet, because that's what all of this is back here. And I know once I get these in the sleeve, I am going to be at max capacity and won't have very much room to grow. So I was on scrapbook.com's website, and they had their 6x8 binders on sale. So I grabbed 2 of these, and I figured now would be a good time to update my storage. I also picked up some of the scrapbook.com 6x8 inserts as well. So I can use the ones that I have, but I think what I'm going to do is just start, because I'm going to relabel these as well, because I'm going to be doing 1 stencil per page rather than 2, just to make it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off first just by emptying everything out of this binder. I'm going to set this aside. I'll probably put this to use for something else in the future. But like I said, I did buy 2 of the gray ones, and then I also purchased a white one for another set of organization that I'm going to be working on in the future. And you'll see that on video as well. So I have to really get these organized. I did do a little bit of work. Oh, I also have little pocket inserts. I didn't realize it was there, just what size to cut my inserts at. But I don't know if I'm going to use the inserts. I probably will, just because I have them cut already. Probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut some more inserts just to have them ready. It just helps so that I can see the stencil better through the pocket. If I have nothing in there, then I'm going to see the stencil behind it, and then I won't, it'll be a little harder to tell what the stencil is that I'm working with. So I'm going to get that going and do that first. I've been looking for something to do with my Spellbinders cardstock that is from their older collection. So they have brand new design of cardstock, and I was trying to decide what to do with this. I was going to take it to work, but unfortunately it would probably just sit there at work. It's just going to sit here as well, so I decided to use it to make inserts for my stencil pages, and I already went ahead and cut a bunch of colors. So one thing it does is it adds some color, but it also makes it easier for me to see the stencil through. Instead of having white paper as the backer, I could do colored cardstock, and then I can actually see the stencil, and I could tell what the pattern is without, having to figure it out on my own. So what I'm doing is just using my Big Fiskars trimmer. This is a rotary trimmer. I keep this on hand for doing just this type of thing. I use it for cutting my cardstock for my inserts, especially because I could do a couple of sheets at one time. So I'm just going to take 2 sheets of this cardstock. I'm cutting it down to about 6 inches and then 8 1/4 inches. So I end up, first of all, with a lot of extra cardstock, so I could still use this for other things. But then I have a nice colorful insert that I could put inside of my page protectors for my project. And then what I'm doing is just pre-filling my inserts and just making it super easy for future stencils, for current stencils. It just makes things a lot easier. And I'm using these scrapbook.com page protectors. I'll tell you, this is a really nice quality. They're real thick page protectors, which I like, especially when you're using them for things like storing your stencils, because those stencils have sharp edges, and sometimes if it's a real thin quality, you'll poke right through the page protector. So now I have lots of pages together, and I have some colorful pages, which I think is kind of nice, especially considering that my book is gray. I can add some color to it. So of course we have to put them in rainbow order. All right, so we are going to work on getting these all filled. So the first thing, I have my labels. Now, I did recently purchase a DYMO LabelWriter. It's a 550, and I really like this because I can just easily put everything in an Excel document, keep the Excel document for inventory, but then I can also use this for importing into the DYMO software and easily printing out all of my tags. I did all of these in like a half an hour. I did have to figure out how to import because I've never done that before on the label maker, but it was so easy. And then what was nice about putting in the Excel document is I also put them in alphabetical order by company. So it does make it a little bit easier because now I can really take my time and put these in order by company. So I put my stencils in alphabetical order by company. It just makes it easier for going through my stencils. And what I'm doing is I am just taking those stencils, putting them inside the pocket, and I am not going to, at this time anyway, put stencils in the back side. I'm just going to put them on one side, and it will make it easier in the future if I want to add. I always have the back for these. So this is my Altenew. Now I do have three other Altenews, but these are brand new, so I don't want to put them in my system here today, but I am just going to go ahead and make their envelopes so that when I am done using them, they are ready to go. I just don't want to put them in here because if I do, I know I'm not going to use them and I'll forget about them until someday I'm browsing through and realized I've never used them. So we're going to get those done and we'll put those back into my new basket and we will just reserve their space in my binder. Now for this particular set, the artwork that comes with it does have, what it looks like on the back. So I am going to keep that and just put that in the back of the pocket. Then I have my stencils in the front, and then I could always just check the back to see what it looks like. And then I just have to put the last label on. There we go. That is all of them. They're all nice and organized. Now what I'm going to do is figure out what I'm going to do. I have 2 of these albums, and I think because I have a lot of Paper Tray Ink and Simon Says Stamp that I probably will give them their own album, and then the rest of them will go into this one. So this could be all of my Paper Tray Ink and Simon Says Stamp, which would fit in there perfectly. And this would be everything else. Now the only ones that I did not get a place for are my 2 larger size stencils, which are these 2 right here. So I'm going to leave those out. I'll probably just stick them into the back of the album like I did before. Let's just get these in here. All right, and there are my 2 albums. I am going to stick my extra pages that I have not filled yet into the back of this book. This is the one from Everything Else, all my other companies, which I really like it like that. I will tell you that I really love this. I love the binder system for the stencils. I do have 2 that are too big for the binders. That is just the only ones I have. I have my Paper Tray Ink and my Spell Binders one right here. So what I'm going to do is probably just, because this is just going to sit on my counter, I'm just going to stick these right in the back. And then I'm able to access them, and I know they're there. They're sticking out. Plus it also helps me see that this is my Simon Says Stamp binder. I do have to just add my label to the side that says stencil, and this one will say Paper Tray Ink / Simon Says Stamp, and this one will just say stencils. But I really like how this worked out. Let me just pull this other one here out. What I ended up doing was taking the stencil, putting in the front, and then putting any of the artwork that I have for it in the back. Probably my better example is going to be my Paper Tray Ink ones, because these I have, they print on there so you can see what the stencil is onto the paperwork. So what I do is I just put the stencil in the front, then any artwork that came with it in the back, and then I can see easily if I have it on the back. And then if I need to, I can always put that information back into the same pocket and then make room for other stencils in the system here. So if I have if I have the stencil, or if I have like my Simon Says Stamp, the paperwork that just says the name of it, I just put it right in the back. So that is my stencil storage update. I am loving using this label maker for labeling these pockets. I think I'm probably going to start moving over to those completely because it is so easy just to do an Excel and then import it into the software and print it out. It was super easy, and I am thrilled with it. So I definitely think I'm going to convert everything over to that. I'm not going to go back and do my stamps and dies, but as I move forward, I definitely will be switching over to these. Now, the next video I'm going to share with you is my cardstock storage, only because I recently updated, and a couple years ago I switched over to different packaging and I'm loving it. So I'm going to share that, but I also have to do some swatching because I do have a lot of the new Spellbinders cardstock. So I am going to be swatching those out, and I thought that would be a good time to kind of share the update of how I'm storing my cardstock. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will definitely be doing some more craft room organization storage videos in the near future, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching today's video. If you are interested in any of the supplies that I shared today, you can find a link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.